I'm Doug Brown with the Eastern Conference Finals tied at 2. Giannis Antetokounmpo is out for tonight's Game 5 with a hyperextended left knee. ESPN reports there is no structural damage to that knee, but ESPN's Monica McNutt says she's not so confident in Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday without Giannis.
I don't know that those two can account for defenses being able to double them. And then, is the rest of that supporting cast going to hit shots consistently enough?
Monica McNutt on Key J and Z. No word yet if Trae Young will play for the Hawks. Our coverage of Game 5 starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner says he's not like his late father George, and there are no changes in the works regarding GM Brian Cashman and manager Aaron Boone. The Angels scored 7 runs in the 9th inning Wednesday night to beat the Yankees in the Bronx 11-8. Day 4 at Wimbledon. Winners today include Roger Federer, Taylor Fritz, Coco Gauff, and Ash Barty. Live coverage continues on ESPN.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
Chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplett. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Happy NIL Day, everybody. It is a brave new world. Mark the date, July the 1st of 2021, the day that NIL legislation became official when student athletes could make money on their name, image, and likeness. My initial reaction to this is this feels today a lot like the beginning of NFL free agency, right? Every year when the league year begins and free agency starts, boom, there's a flurry. You have all these deals that get done. The NFL obviously has their legal tampering period now, so you have a lot of stuff that was already in the works, and then as soon as free agency begins, boom, things become official. That's what today feels like, where you have this really continuous chain of deals being announced among different businesses and student athletes all around intercollegiate athletics. And what always happens in free agency is you have that first flurry of deals, the market's set, everything settles, and once the market is set, then later you'll have a next wave, which I think is what's going to happen here. Today feels very frenetic, doesn't it? Almost like the beginning of free agency, where every time you hit refresh on Twitter, boom, 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 there's another one done. Who's going where? So it's tough kind of to keep up with all of it, but I do think this is going to settle after today. But the bottom line is, this is a groundbreaking day. It's a landmark day. It's a day that we will talk about forever, because we will become as familiar with NIL in our vernacular the way we have social distancing. Nobody knew what the hell social distancing was 18 months ago. Nobody ever used that phrase. Now we all know what it is. It's just part of us. Same with NIL. This is just what we're going to see moving forward. I have a couple of notes specifically as it pertains to Louisiana. Major salute to LSU, because they nailed it. LSU changed the avatar on all of their social media accounts to NILSU, in the same way they have NFLSU, but NILSU. They released a hype video because, of course, LSU released a hype video. And they have it running on a billboard in Times Square. And the whole hype video narrated by Jamal Adams, and it goes through so many LSU athletes, current and former, that built brands, from Pete Maravich to Shaq to Simone Augustus, Devin White, Skylar Mays, the Honey Badger, Leonard Fournette. And it's an amazing. They have Olivia Dunn, who is the most followed athlete on social media in the NCAA, LSU gymnast, who's got 4 million TikTok followers, 1.1 million Instagram followers. Olivia Dunn is about to become a millionaire. And good for her. She had accrued all of that following before she ever showed up on campus. She should be able to capitalize on it, so good for her. But the point is, LSU, in doing this, is so far out front of the rest of college athletics. Understand, today is a day where so many administrators, so many coaches, so many student athletes, their head is swimming. I talked to an agent earlier today this is a sports agent. And remember, the student athletes can have marketing representation. Said he was on the phone until 1:30 in the morning, had more than 300 calls yesterday about this. Students, athletes, parents, coaches, 300 calls in one day. It's an incredible thing. So many people have been, I don't want to say blindsided, but certainly weren't at the forefront. LSU has absolutely nailed this, because what they have done is they have basically, instead of being timid and dipping their toe into the NIL water, what LSU has done today is said, come on, we're open for business. If you're a recruit and you want to make money on your name, we welcome it. We have built brands here for decades. We can help you build yours, and we will help you make money, and we welcome this. This is a gigantic open arm hug. Is what the New York Times Square? They're running this damn billboard in Times Square. They had Jamal Adams narrate a hype video. The other thing that LSU has done specifically with their NIL rules, and Ross Dellinger, who's obviously now with SI, tweeted this earlier, and he's so spot on. LSU released to its student athletes a one sheet with it's sort of an information one sheet. You can take this here, Paulie. I'll zoom in on it so people can see if you're watching us. So it basically describes what is the NIL, and then how can I make money? Promote your own business, promote a corporate entity, establish your own camp or clinic. That's right. Student athletes, you can have your own. If you're Dylan Cruz, you can have the Dylan Cruz baseball camp now and make money on it. Good for you. You can make an appearance for compensation. You can sign autographs and receive compensation. Now, the other thing that's the most important here, LSU, in their things to note to all of their student athletes, they got to disclose agreements with their compliance office. They got to receive written approval, but they are allowing their student athletes to use official LSU logos and LSU facilities. Not every school is going to allow this, but LSU is telling its student athletes, you can wear your LSU logo in an endorsement. You can say you're an LSU athlete. You can do an endorsement at an LSU facility. Now, Stephanie Remp told us yesterday there are some exceptions. For example, if the business is a conflict with an LSU corporate partner. I think Stephanie Remp mentioned Hancock Whitney. Hancock Whitney is the bank, the official banking partner of LSU Athletics. So obviously, if another bank went to have a student athlete endorse them, they wouldn't be able to use their LSU logos and marks and facilities and all that. But if it's something that wasn't a conflict, you could get permission and do that. That's that adds incredible value to the potential sponsor for the endorsement. And so it's going to make it even more valuable for the student athlete. It's a very smart thing that LSU is doing. Look, you can push against this. You can try to I mean, I just get the image of like the giant boulder rolling downhill, and there's the little man like trying to hold the boulder from falling downhill. Like, or you can just hop on and go for the ride. And that's what LSU is doing. And good for them. It's going to benefit them in the long run. A couple of deals that we've already seen so far. Derek Stingley was announced earlier today. Announced on his social media, Derek Stingley has a deal with walk-ons through Matchpoint. Matchpoint is the company we told you about. Our friend Henry Hayes of Matchpoint was on a couple of days ago, and that's who Charles Hannegriff went to work for, matching businesses with with student athletes. So Derek Stingley tweeted this earlier today, coming soon, his deal with walk-ons. Miles Brennan has a deal with Small Sliders here in Baton Rouge, which is part of that same ownership group with Brandon Landry and Drew Brees. It's super smart. But those are also I also think whenever in terms of dollars, there's this big misconception. We're going to talk a lot about this, but the thing that I'm very comfortable speaking about, I am very comfortable speaking about this because literally this is how I earn my living. I earn my living largely through endorsements. Like, I have a base salary like most people here, but I make money through endorsements. So I have a very good sense of what these things are worth, what market value is worth. And if you're sitting here thinking like that Stingley or Brennan just signed like a 6-figure deal, like that's just not reality. That's not what happened there. But it's going to give him pocket change, maybe a little bit more. That's a very good thing for them. More likely what you're going to see is what Cade York did. LSU's place kicker Cade York. If you missed this today, Cade York tweeted out that he is now doing Instagram story shout-outs for between $20 and $50 a pop. So good for him. Like, he's not going to get rich doing it, but that's a way for a college kid to make a little scratch. Good for him. I fully embrace that, welcome that. Don't know if you saw this, but I was scrolling Instagram earlier today, and this has gotten a lot of pop. But Cade Beloso, his dad, Rodney, has Hot Rods Creole. Hot Rods Creole is Cajun seasoning. They've sponsored the show in the past. So I tweeted out the screen grab of the Instagram post where Hot Rods Creole announced that Cade Beloso now is endorsing Hot Rods Creole, has his own discount code and everything like that. Well, Kendall Rogers retweeted it. Darren Ravel picked it up and put it on his Twitter to 2 million people. You don't think Hot Rods Creole is pumped about that today? I think Rodney Beloso wanted to give me a kiss earlier today. I don't blame him. But anyway, the point being, just think in context how ridiculous it is. If you're pushing back against NIL, how ridiculous is it that Cade Beloso couldn't even mention his family's business? Couldn't even mention his family's business. His family's business under the antiquated old rules. Now he can. He's not going to get rich off of it, but he's got a promo code. And the way that those work, he gets a promo code. If a sale comes through, someone use that code, Cade's going to get commissioned on it. Cool. I mean, what's wrong with that? Go use Cade's promo code when you buy Hot Rods Creole, and he'll make a little scratch. Great. All right, I know I'm running late, but there's two other things with this that I wanted to mention, because specifically with Louisiana's laws, two things to note. Number one, this one big concern that most people have. Well, the boosters are going to come in, and boosters are just going to funnel money to these players through their businesses. Okay, first of all, part of the Louisiana law is that boosters may not create or facilitate NIL compensation opportunities. If you are a booster, you cannot create NIL opportunities. So strike that from the record. That's number one. Number two is that compensation received must be commensurate with market value. So you can't give a guy $100,000 to show up at a car dealership on a Saturday. That's not commensurate with market value. That would be literally against the law, not against NCAA rules, against Louisiana law, which Governor John Bel Edwards has signed into law effective today. So listen, man, you may in your brain create this disaster scenario about how all of college athletics is going to fall apart because of this, but the reality is the money isn't in the system that's going to be so outlandish to where businesses are going to be frivolous with their spending. And also, it's against the law. It's a great day for college athletics. It's a great day for college athletes. I salute them. All right, it's after further review. If you want to react, you can do it. 499-1045 or toll-free 844-568-MATT. You can always tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can always text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. By the way, anybody want to sponsor my text line? NIL Day, 396-4400. All right, it's after further review. Stick around.
AFR.
Let me remind you about Pinnacle Exterior Construction. What a great day to consider Pinnacle Exterior Construction. You walk outside, it's 100 degrees. You're going to get home. You're going to be sweaty just from the walk from the car into the house. Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to jump into your own pool? Well, Pinnacle Exterior Construction makes that dream a reality for people every single day. Custom pools, outdoor kitchens. Maybe what you need is a fence or a deck or bulkheads. They do all of it. They have their own concrete crew. Maybe you just bought the new family pet and little Fido keeps getting out of the yard. Well, you need a fence. Well, Pinnacle Exterior Construction can build you that fence as well. Turn your outdoor space into a showplace, your boring backyard into an oasis. Pinnacle Exterior Construction makes it happen. Start with a phone call for that consultation. They'll come on out, take a look, start dreaming about your personal oasis. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. 757-6138 for Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA has it all. New Toyotas with great gas mileage, awesome prices, and a service department that can take care of all your vehicle needs. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Any make, any model. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle purchase. The process is easy, fast, and free. Find out what you can get for your car today at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Remember, it's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad you're hanging out with us here. Always appreciate our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com. Mike Detillier in the next hour. We will certainly talk about Ryan Ramczyk getting his big deal. Darren Rosenthal transferring out of LSU. Your questions for Mike D. Always appreciate when we have Mike. We'll get to that in about 40 minutes from right now. So there was history made, a champion crowned last night. Mississippi State won its first national championship in baseball, in any team sport, really. And so I love final calls, right? And when you think about like firsts and great moments and what they sound like you remember Jim Hawthorne, 1991, ground ball to Chris Mook, fires it to Johnny Telechia with Rick Green on the mound, 6-3 LSU beats Wichita State for its first ever national championship in baseball.
And here's the pitch. Swing and a ground ball to Mook. He's got it. Thank you and good night. That's it. He throws him out at first, and the Tigers are the champions of collegiate baseball.
The inimitable Jim Hawthorne, his first of what would be 5 national championship calls, none more dramatic than obviously 1996, Warren Morris at the plate, Tigers trailing by 1 to Miami with a runner on third and Robbie Morrison on the mound. And then you all know what happened next. Right after Warren Morris stepped up to the plate, Musso, please, what are you doing? I cannot drag this out any longer. Do you have any? Do you have none? You have none. Do you have any others? Yes. Why did you have that one on the sheet? Never mind. How about the Saints? After a long history of ineptitude, finally Garrett Hartley kicks the Saints to the Super Bowl, and Jim Henderson, it sounded like this.
Snap, placement, kick by Hartley, and it is good! It's good! It's good! Pigs have flown. Hell is frozen over. The Saints are on their way to the Super Bowl.
It was more than 100 years between Cubs World Series, so you know in WGN they were losing their minds in 2016.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it and throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. The Cubs come pouring out of the dugout, jumping up and down like a bunch of delirious 10-year-olds. The Cubs have done it. The longest drought in the history of American sports is over, and the celebration begins.
And so you better believe that after more than 120 years of team sports, and Mississippi State being one of only 3 programs ever not to win any national championship in a team sport, only Mississippi State, Kansas State, and Virginia Tech wearing the collar in their history, Mississippi State last night finally put an end to more than a century of waiting, and Jim Ellis, he had the honors, and this is what it sounded like.
A bunt to the third baseman and going to beat it out for a... No, they say he's out. Close play. Umpire said out. I'll take it. We win it. We, as in all of the maroon and white everywhere, celebrate a national championship with a ball club that's so resilient, has had a great postseason, never had any doubt in their minds that they could do it. If anybody doubted them, and they've done it. And they, in a dog pile out in front of the mound here at Ameritrade Park.
Was Jim calling the city championship at the local municipal course? What the hell was that, Jim Ellis? Are you kidding me? That's your moment, man. Normally, I stand here and I do the shut up color guy bit. Yelling at the stupid color guy for stepping all over the historic call. I don't even like Mississippi State, and I'm pissed about this. I feel so bad for every single Do you know that when LSU won the 2003 national championship in football, that was when ringtones were a big thing, like personalized ringtones and stuff. You could buy and download ringtones. LSU made Jim Hawthorne's call of that championship against Oklahoma a ringtone, and I think that was my ringtone for like 8 years. That's how incredible that moment was to live and experience over and over and over again every time my phone rang. And Mississippi State fans, they get this?
We win it.
What? Bro!
I'll take it.
I'll take it. By the way, your boy was totally safe at first base. I was so wanting them to review.
That would have been great.
Like, if you didn't watch it, Vandy's down to the last out. Kid bunts to third base. He's trying to get on. You know I hate bunting, but respect the fact that the guy was just trying to get on to extend the game however you want. Bunts to third. He was safe by a step. I mean, foot on the bag. The ball is still 5 feet away from the first baseman. He was safe. But State pours out of the dugout. Fireworks are going off. It would have been so beautiful to have them just, neuter that moment and to take them all off the field, do the headphone thing, rule him safe. All the fireworks have already exploded, so you can't do that again. And then, that
confetti's gone.
It would have been so beautiful for that to have happened. But look, Blue was ready to go. I mean, it was 9-0. He was ready for it to be over.
I think Chris Lemonis might have punched somebody in the face.
He seems like a mild-mannered guy.
I don't know, man. He was fired up about the officiating all series, and that would have probably been the tipping point.
That was beautiful last night. Oh, my God. Poor State fans. By the way, I am not happy for anyone. This is not a good thing. For LSU, this is a net negative. The fact that Mississippi State has now won a national championship in baseball. You can no longer hold that over their head. You say, we got 6. Yeah, well, your last one was 12 years ago, Cat. So they kind of have the trump card on you. And history, sure. But, I mean, theirs is recent, and they've been impressive. That's not a good thing. I'm happy for one person. It's Rivers Huey. That's it. Rivers is my friend, and she gets to be happy, and that's great. But I'm happy for nobody else. Ross Dellinger went to Mississippi State. I'm not happy for Ross. Rivers' husband, Kevin, went to Mississippi State. I'm not happy for him or her family or anybody else. No one associated with that school. I'm not happy for anyone associated with them. At all. Will Clark? Not happy. Dak Prescott? Not happy for you. Nobody. At all. Now you got to go win one. Come on, Jay Johnson. Let's go. Speaking of winning one. Oh, I don't have time for this. I'm going to get to this. Chris Paul and Monty Williams are going to the NBA Finals. And that's obviously a very natural tie here, as Chris Paul was drafted by the then Hornets, coached by Monty Williams, before Chris Paul was traded and then Monty later fired. But they're going to the Finals together in Phoenix, and I have mixed feelings about it. But we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to stay on time. So after further review, we'll knock out a quick break. Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name-brand tires at wholesale prices. Part owner in Hudco Roofing. We got a big Hudco Roofing trailer. We take all the job sites and everything. Usually Terrio hauls that thing around town. Had a flat tire. Where do we bring it? Boom. Shaw Bills right there on Burbank. If it's your vehicle, if it's your trailer, you need a tire repair, a whole new tire, a whole new set of tires, or before you take that 4th of July road trip, bring it on into Shaw Bills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name-brand tires at wholesale prices. ShawBillsTire.com to find the location nearest you. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
You guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Mike Detillier, 27 minutes from right now. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. But I wanted to give a shout out. If you're looking for something to do on Saturday, pretty cool that I was offered to be the Grand Marshal of the Kenilworth Independence Parade. Kenilworth neighborhood in Baton Rouge. They've been doing this parade for 49. This is the 49th year that they've done the parade. And they asked me to be the Grand Marshal. So honored to do so. They're in the Kenilworth neighborhood. Coming up this Saturday, 6:30 is the parade start time. So coming out, we'll be having beads and red, white, and blue beads and throws and all. And I can tell you probably the best part about this for me is that my nieces and my nephew are so jacked out of their mind about this. So they're going to ride in the little Jeep with me on the parade route. And so I get to be like the cool guy, the cool uncle for a day. So, hey, if you're looking for something to do, coming out. I mean, it's Independence Day weekend. It's 4th of July weekend. Of course, the 4th is on Sunday this year. So we're off. Our whole staff is off on Monday. We've always had off for the 4th being Sunday, so they're giving us off on Monday. But if you are out and about and looking for something to do on Saturday night, come on out to the Independence Parade. They're in the Kenilworth neighborhood. 6:30 is the start time. I'll be sort of toward the front. So I'll be throwing beads and good stuff. If you want to throw eggs or whatever at me, that's fine. Just be on the lookout for the kids. Looking forward to it this weekend. I'm sure Maybe Terrio and I will talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. Maybe he can give me some tips. I think he's been in parades before, so he can tell me what to do. Or if you have any tips, let me know. Good ideas, do's and don'ts, throws to have, not to have. How liberal should you be with the throws? How do you really pace yourself to make sure it lasts throughout the parade? I'm a little unsure. But I am really excited about it. So thanks so much to Kenilworth for the offer, and looking forward to being a part of that and celebrating our nation's independence this weekend. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mississippi State, by now you know, they've won their first ever national championship. They dominate Vanderbilt 9-0. Will Bednar, Landon Sims, they were awesome. They combined to hold Vandy to just one hit in the shutout performance. Bednar, no hit, threw a no-hitter through 6 innings, handed it off to Landon Sims, who finished it off. Bednar was named the CWS Most Outstanding Player. They will have a national championship celebration in Starkville on Friday.
I'll take it.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh, he's safe. Oh, he's out. Oh, we win it. What a dork. Not great news for Nate Oates. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Alabama guard Josh Primo. He'll remain in the NBA draft. Also, junior guard Jaden Shackelford. He told Stadium Sports he's entering the transfer portal while remaining in the draft pool. So both Primo and Shackelford, they had previously declared for the draft in April while retaining their NCAA eligibility. Draft is July 29th. It's 2 big losses there for Nate Oates.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Well, we now know where former LSU forward Josh Gray will be finishing up his college basketball career. Josh Gray will join the South Carolina men's basketball team. They have officially announced his signing with the program. Gray's a former 3-star recruit. You know that, out of the state of New York, the number 34 center in the country a year ago. 6'11", 255, so it's a big man added to Frank Martin's roster there in Columbia. Gray is South Carolina's 5th incoming transfer on scholarship.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And Tennessee hoops landed a big-time prospect, B.J. Edwards, 4-star point guard out of Knoxville Catholic. He has committed to Tennessee. 6'3", 170-pounder. Ranked number 68 overall in the country in the 247 composite, the number 11 point guard in the country. He is the first commit for Tennessee's 2022 class. Chose the Vols over Vandy, Georgia, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, and Florida. So big get there for Rick Barnes. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get from our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. I want to talk about this. So, Chris Paul, Monty Williams are headed to the NBA Finals. How do you feel about this? The two men, I'm a bit torn here, admittedly. Two men shared a pretty emotional moment, man, after the Suns clinched the Western Conference, won the Western Conference Finals, clinched a berth in the NBA Finals. Monty hugging Chris Paul. Chris Paul, longtime superstar in the NBA, 16 years, finally headed to the NBA Finals for the first time in his Hall of Fame career. Monty Williams, of course, who has battled personal tragedy. We all know the story of Monty's wife dying in a car accident, leaving behind he and his 5 children, their 5 children. But he has persevered back to a second NBA head coaching job and now has the Suns 4 wins away from an NBA championship, which is remarkable. I'm very happy for Monty Williams. I think that's sort of the easy one, right? Monty came to New Orleans. He was here for 5 years as the head coach, 2 playoff berths. His first playoff berth, they went to a 6th game before they were bounced. Last time he was in the playoffs, they were swept by the Lakers. I'm very happy for Monty Williams. He's a class act, a good guy in the NBA. He was nothing but class while he was in New Orleans. I'm very happy for him. The Chris Paul thing is odd, isn't it? Like, Chris Paul was drafted by the Pelicans, the Hornets. He was the face of that franchise, and it was very clear that he was not going to re-sign in free agency, so the franchise decided to trade him. That was when the NBA owned the franchise post-George Shinn era, and Dell Demps was running the team. So Demps organized a trade. They were going to trade Chris Paul to the Lakers, which the NBA nixed, and then ultimately a deal was done with the Clippers, which was not really as good a deal for New Orleans as it turned out. Now, all of that did ultimately net Anthony Davis, which we can have the conversation whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, with the benefit of hindsight now, it is what it is. But Chris Paul is like such a dynamic player. He's been one of the NBA's good guys for so long. He was part of this community post-Katrina. You look at Chris Paul's career, and you're very happy for that guy to achieve this level of success and to finally get there. But there is this sort of petty part of me, like, what if he had stayed? What if he had remained committed to the organization and said, look, I'm staying. I want to be here. I want to build a winner here, which he didn't do. So I don't know, man. I'll likely pull for the Suns in the finals, regardless of who comes out of the East. And quite honestly, with Trae Young's injury and with Giannis being injured, you tell me if you disagree. It almost feels like whoever comes out of the East is going to be certainly at a market disadvantage, considering the Suns are healthy. So, in any event, man, there's this part of me that wants to pull for Monty and for Chris Paul, for sure. There's another part that's like, you just feel like, a jilted lover, a scorned lover. I don't know. Let me know your feelings on it. I'm curious how New Orleans, how this area is going to react to these NBA Finals with Monty and Chris Paul going for their first championship together. But it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Now I got a quick break. We'll come back, put a button on hour number 1. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. Mike D coming up 18 minutes from right now. We'll look forward to that. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. Speaking of sports on TV, college baseball is over, but Wimbledon's going on. Of course, you can watch that at Pluckers. And tonight, you got Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Hawks at Bucks. Need a place to watch? Get them by Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, and sports on TV. You can certainly watch at your house, no doubt. And look, maybe you can get your wings to go. Call Pluckers, place your order, swing by, pick it up, boom. You're on your way, take it to the house and watch. But the thing your house don't have, ice-cold draft beer, award-winning jumbo chicken wings, and the environment of having fans just like you reacting real time. It's Pluckers. You don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. All new Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Musso will have Tigers in the pros. Just a quick second. Mike D in 14 minutes from right now. Many of you may know I host a Locked On LSU podcast each day, and there is among our network of hosts, they're comprising a spreadsheet, an NIL spreadsheet. And you may find this interesting. So essentially, they're compiling a list of student athletes in any sport that have joined different NIL platforms, similar to, say, Matchpoint, like we've talked about here. There are others. Dreamfield is one. Open Doors is another. What is this? Icon Source is another. Whereby, like, Paulie, if you want to show this one, you can't. It's this is, if you're watching, this is Open Doors, so you can see it says Open Doors gets athletes, connections, analytics, etc. So you sign up, and it basically does the same thing. It has marketers and different organizations and agents all in the same place for student athletes, as it says, to be able to maximize their brand, to understand their value, and to make real money. So again, there's many different platforms that these student athletes are using or that are available to student athletes to act as a conduit for them to maximize their value. It just sort of as an illustration. On Dreamfield, for example, the student athlete can set a price per hour for their appearances. To date, the highest price per hour on Dreamfield is Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral, who has set his benchmark at $10,000. Matt Corral wants $10,000 an hour for an appearance. Now, Matt Corral's not going to get $10,000 an hour for an appearance unless his season goes exceptionally well. He's in the Heisman Trophy candidacy race mid-season. They pulled some upsets. His stock is starting to rise, and it looks like he's going to be a surefire first-round pick. Then maybe you have people that'll bet on the come. Mackenzie Milton, remember, former UCF quarterback who's now at Florida State. He's requesting $2,000 an hour, as is Miami quarterback De'Aaron King. More likely, though, what you're seeing, Michael Penix, the Indiana quarterback, $500 an hour. I could see that. I could see a business in Bloomington saying, hey, come out and meet Michael Penix. He'll do autograph signings and pictures. Boom, pay him $500. It's that. Samuel Jackson, Central Florida offensive tackle. That'd be worth it just to say you have Samuel Jackson doing signings. $500 an hour. Trying to see if there's other ones that are of interest, maybe that you'd find interesting. Ryan Holinsky. So Ryan Holinsky started his career at South Carolina, quarterback. He's at Northwestern now. Ryan Holinsky, his price per hour, $50. Like, the people that, again, just to illustrate the point, like, people who assume that this is just going to be boosters funneling money to kids at obnoxious rates, that's just not what this is. And it's not going to be that. Because realistically, if you're a business and you have an advertising budget, you're going to have to net a return on that ad dollar. So you're going to spend wisely. It doesn't make any sense to just frivolously throw cash at student athletes. It's not going to get you a return. So they're going to be smart about the investments they make. Like, walk-ons doing a deal with Derek Stingley. I get it. Small sliders doing a deal with Miles Brennan. I get it. We'll see what other ones pop up. All right, After Further Review brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Get on by and take a test drive. Their SUVs are awesome. Of course, the Atlas, that's what I drive, and Erica drives. You open up our garage, we've got 2 Atlases in the garage. It was perfect for our road trip up to Tennessee. It was actually really cool as well because you're going up the mountain, you could do the all-terrain setting, and boom, it gripped the road, was very safe and reassuring. The ID4, the Taos, they're there for you to test drive today at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland and online at southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online. Shop them, even check out the dealer specials right now at southpointvw.com. For South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
All right, Tigers in the pros today. Game 5, the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks. Skylar Mays looking to get some more playing time. Of course, Trae Young, questionable for tonight. Could open the door for Skylar Mays, especially if the game is out of hand like it was last week. Skylar, not last week, in the game 4, 2 days ago. Skylar saw some playing time there. We'll update you of that tomorrow. Little matinee baseball. It was getaway day in Buffalo. The Seattle Mariners defeated the Buffalo Blue Jays 7-2. Jake Fraley, 2 for 3 on the day at the bottom of the order. A run scored, an RBI, and this home run, and if you're watching us on YouTube or CST, you see just an absolute shot to right field that comes courtesy of Root Sports in Seattle. Jake Fraley with another home run. That was his 6th on the season.
It's so funny looking at him playing in that park still.
I mean, it's the Buffalo Blue Jays.
This is so stupid. What are you doing, Canada?
I mean, they're hosting the Stanley Cup Finals as well. Like, they're letting Montreal play their home games there. There's not fans, but they're letting them play their home games there. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, if that's the case, then you can sort of understand the Blue Jays at least having some attendance to generate some kind of revenue. It's just stupid.
Sense.
Like,
I agree.
We get it, man. It's over. Like,
yeah.
Let's get back to doing the life stuff that everyone else is doing.
Daniel Cabrera last night in the West Michigan Broncos. Cabrera 2 out of 6, a run scored and an RBI. Had 2 singles in that game. Cabrera continuing his stellar season so far in high A baseball. I'd be very surprised, Cabrera, the way he's kind of popped off this year, if he does not get at least a call up to AA ball before the minor league season ends. Finally, AAA baseball, Toledo Mud Hens, Jacoby Jones last night ended up going 2 out of 3 with 2 runs scored. He also walked once, so 3 trips around the bases there for Jacoby Jones. 2 runs scored as well in the game. That included 2 singles as well. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Kentucky's Best Hemp. Had someone message me today and say, hey, do they have a store in Baton Rouge? No, they don't. You see, they're based out of Kentucky. This is Lewis Coleman's company, former LSU pitcher Lewis Coleman, a former Tiger in the pros. And they're an online retailer, so you can only purchase online. And that website is
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
Yes. It's a horribly confusing website. It's like the Kentucky postal code pluralized, followed by besthemp.com. I get it. That's why we do the silly jingle. But remember this. Much easier to remember is AFR30. That's AFR30. Use the promo code AFR30 and save 30% off your order at Kentucky's Best Hemp. Are people really lit about this? Like, guy on Twitter just sent me the screen grab of the final out.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. Of the final out of the College World Series. I mean, your boy.
It wasn't close. It really wasn't close.
But then again, all right, I'm going to say it. Doug Thompson's strikeout in the 1997 World Series ended. That was about 8 feet off the plate. Sometimes Blue's just ready to go home in a blowout, and I don't blame him. All right, Mike Detillier joining us next.
AFR.
Let me take 60 seconds to remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. We're into July. Let freedom ring, operative prefix there, free, all this month at the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana, where you buy 2, get 1 free on laser hair removal. You don't want that back hair, that arm hair. Trust me, I know what it's about. When you go to the beach. Guys, maybe you just don't want the neck hair. You don't have to shave your beard all the time. Laser it off. Guys at the plant do that all the time. Ladies, you never want to shave your legs again. Buy 2, get 1 free all this month. Laser hair removal at the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. And at Aesthetic, they always offer a 15% military discount. So check that out as well. Certainly we appreciate all of our men and women who have served and continue to serve. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. TheAntiAgingClinics.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA has it all. New Toyotas with great gas mileage, awesome prices, and a service department that can take care of all your vehicle needs. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Any make, any model. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle purchase. The process is easy, fast, and free. Find out what you can get for your car today at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Remember, it's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. The Washington football team is hit with a $10 million fine after a league investigation into allegations of sexual harassment by former employees over a 15-year period. 3 teams are also hit with fines and other penalties for OTA violations. The Jaguars fined $200,000, the Cowboys and 49ers $100,000 each. No Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Bucks tonight with a hyperextended left knee. Tim Legler says it shouldn't be a problem for Milwaukee.
Chris Middleton has now elevated his profile in this league as a guy that you can pencil in a certain number. And I think without Giannis, Middleton's going to be around 30. Drew Holiday's another guy who's been much more aggressive lately looking for his shot. So he is, again, a proven commodity in this league.
Tim Legler on Get Up, our coverage of Game 5 Bucks and Hawks, 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Kentucky guard Davian Mintz withdraws from the NBA draft. He'll be back in Lexington next season. Mintz led the team in scoring last year.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
After further review, our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Cesarac Rye Whiskey.
Man, they got a cool ass somewhere along the everywhere.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And the one and only Mike Detillier, SaintsReport.com, MikeDetillier.com. Of course, the M&D Draft Report, Saints News Network, Partridge in a Pear Tree, and with us every single Thursday here. Mike D, it's been a couple of weeks. Great to hear from you again. How are you?
Man, I've been here, but, man, you've been on the road all over the damn place.
Hey, man.
But listen, you deserve it. You put in that daily grind of that 2 or 3 hours and stuff.
2 or 3? Mike, it's 3. Don't sell me short, man. Don't sell me short.
I get you, but, with commercials and everything else.
Technicality.
Listen, that's how I cut it, and don't ask why, but I know.
I know you know. But I appreciate you for being here the past couple of weeks while I was out.
No problem.
It is great to be back. Let's start with the gigantic story, literally and figuratively, about Ryan Ramczyk, man. He gets the massive deal. We expected it.
Yep.
What did you think of the terms of the deal? 5 years, $96 million.
That didn't really surprise me any, not in today's market. But he hits the check marks on the 4 things I would look for when I give a long-term, huge contract. And that would be 1, talent. He's the best right tackle in pro football. And it's funny that every year, in the back of my book, I'll write about the top players in the NFL, and I go to 12, 13. Well, this year was actually 14 guys that have been either in the NFL in an advisory standpoint, meaning director of player personnel or general manager, current ones, former players who keep up with the game, coaches, same way. Ramczyk was the top right tackle for every one of them, every one. And so it was interesting, and my feeling was that, but I just kind of wanted to get it from them too. So you had the talent level, and then age, 27 years old. For an offensive lineman, and he's entering the best 5 years of his playing time, barring an injury. When you're 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, normally, man, you hit your peak at that particular point. Now, you can play beyond that, but normally that's when you're your best in that time frame. Durability is third. He's missed one game, and that's because they sat him.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the guy who's been a warrior for you. And the fourth thing is knowing him is his work ethic. Money's not going to change him. You have to be careful. I think especially in the free agency world, when you don't know that player as well as the guy that you've been with all those years, you don't know. You might think you know him, but how well will money and at that type of money change his work ethic? With Ryan, it's not going to change him. He's still going to be the same guy. His commitment to be the very best, his work ethic, his mental work, physical work, it's all going to stay the same. He hits every check mark that I would look for when I would give a long-term deal to a player. And so, again, with quarterbacks, that might be a little bit different because, in today's world, these guys can play deep into their 30s and still be pretty good, barring any sort of major injury. But, man, for an offensive lineman, he's what you're looking for. To think that he lasted that long on draft night was remarkable. We had gotten word this was the pick right before the Saints that they were looking at the linebacker from Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Reuben Foster, yep.
Yep, and Reuben had tumbled because of off-the-field issues. There were some concerns about it, not about talent. I remember Rick Venturi telling me, Mike, he's one of the top 5 players in this draft class, just from talent. He said, okay, explain me the issues. And, and then once we got into, he said, well, I can see why, maybe he might have a little bit of a tumble. He really took a tumble to go all the way down to 31. And the Saints were on the phone with him talking. What would have happened had he been available? Who knows? But you're not on the phone with somebody if you're not interested. Okay? You interested. And the 49ers traded up and able to select him in late in round 1, and then Ramczyk's there. It was easy when I looked at the board. He was the top guy there. A lot of people wanted pass rushers, but he was the best player up on that board at that point. And so you understood why you picked him. Everybody's life has twists and turns, and nothing's conventional today. Nothing. And the way he went through college is really unconventional.
Yeah.
Because at one time he thought seriously about being a welder. I mean, that was his deal, that he was going to be a welder. And, it ends up he's piping together something all right. He's piping together a Hall of Fame career, and he's the highest paid right tackle in pro football. So I think it was a great move by the Saints. We all understand the salary cap and how it's going to work down the line with this increased amount of money coming in from so many different angles, talking about not only television, radio rights, but also from the gambling part of it, which now they're heavily involved in advertising and everything else. That revenue is going to increase tremendously. And we talked about it in the moments or maybe days before Dak Prescott signed, that things had heated up. Well, who knew about that deal better than Jerry Jones? So Jerry knew it.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was the kind of precursor to everybody that, hey, guys, this is an unbelievable deal. Yeah, I'll cut that deal with Dak now. I'll cut him that deal because I know today what I'm going to get, not only today, but tomorrow and in future years. So, and listen, it's tough. Well, a lot of people, I wouldn't spend that money on a right tackle. I'd spend it on a left, not a right. Well, here's the thing, what you don't understand. In this league, I can move people around, okay? Just like pieces on the chessboard. I can move them around. And if you got a weak right tackle, I'm putting my best pass rusher up against him. He's not necessarily always stuck as a right defensive end going up against a left tackle. I can move him to left defensive end and put him on that right tackle and see what happens. Now, the only thing about that is if you're a right-handed quarterback, you're seeing the guys basically sack you on the left side. You might feel it,
right,
but you're going to see it coming from that edge. So, I'm all for this. I think it's a great deal for the Saints, great deal for Ramczyk. And, again, when you look at what you would want to spend your money on, a super talented player who's considered one of the elite at his spot, his age at 27, his durability, and his work ethic, you got what you want. So you got to secure him. Now, you might have other things to think about with other players, but we've talked about this before. You didn't have to think about that with Ramczyk.
Right. Mike, I want to go there next and also talk a little bit about, with the freed up cap space, what the Saints do now, about $11 million in cap room to spend. We'll go there. Also want Mike's thoughts in a bit on Darren Rosenthal transferring out. A ton to get to, and your questions later in the hour. Stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. They value your time. They value your money. I tell you this every single day. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime. River City's 1 Hour Air technician, when they're sent to your house, you have a notification when they're set to be there. When the technician is dispatched, you get a call, an email, and a text that the technician is on their way. You will get a photograph, a name, and reviews of that technician who's coming to your house. They will always do exceptional work. You will feel comfortable with the River City's 1 Hour Air technician in your home. That's why I read so many great Google reviews and Facebook reviews over and over again, because you can feel comfortable with the quality of work and who is coming around your family and into your home. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. That's the standard that they expect, and they save you time and they save you money. If they're 1 minute late, you don't come out of pocket 1 cent. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help. and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Sazerac Rye Whiskey.
All right, rolling along with Mike Detillier, of course, big tip of the cap to our friends at Sazerac Rye, the one and only New Orleans original. Neat, rocks, and a Cooper, a cup, the all-purpose, all-occasion rye whiskey. Check it out, Sazerac Rye, wherever you buy your spirits. All right, Mike, we talked about Ryan Ramczyk. The Saints extend him. Now, in so doing, they've also freed up about $5.5 million in cap space, according to the guys over at Over the Cap. So the Saints are in the neighborhood of $11 million in cap space now. Okay, so what do?
I go find me a cornerback and quickly because, again, when you look at this football team, it's the one area where, other than Lattimore, you have no idea what else you have. You have a young player in Paulson Adebo who you think can be a really good player for you. He's never played one game. Patrick Robinson, because of his age and now some injuries throughout that time frame, you're not sure what you're going to get out of that. P.J. Williams, who's a valuable piece of your secondary, but he has really been better at that nickel safety position or dime safety position than he has been outside corner. You got to go get your cornerback, and whatever's available out there. If it's through free agency or through a trade, you got to go get one. And I would be seriously looking at a second. Again, Matt, everything's clean right now. Okay, you haven't been in a practice. You've not been through the rigors of training camp. What happens if somebody goes down to an injury? Now where are you at? Yeah. You're back at square one again. So, man, I would take a long look at that if I could maybe double up if I could. And the other part of it is if Quan Alexander's healthy, I want him on my football team. I just think that you got a lot of I don't knows. Again, you can say, well, we used a pick on Zach Bond and we used a pick on Werner. Okay, that's all great and fine. And maybe it might be terrific for 2022. Man, I'm worried about 2021. What can you tell me about Zach today of what type of NFL player he is?
Mike, did you read there? I know Dennis Allen did an interview with the Saints website, and he talked about Zach Bond and how he had a hamstring injury, and so they basically just let him do what he did in college, but they're confident that he'll be able to adjust to a new spot. Like, are you buying that maybe, Mike?
I ain't buying it.
So, I mean, I get it, right? If it's the team website, you get great access, but you're also probably getting the spin zone. But, like, is it plausible to think that Bond could be that guy they're really actually sold, that he could develop into that guy?
It might happen. Again, none of us have seen it.
Right.
Okay, what was the original thought? Okay, let's put him at middle linebacker. That's going to be his spot. Then the next thing you know, he's playing at strong side. Then he's been moved to the weak side.
Right.
Okay, right. You're running out of spots here. All right. And I get it, and I think they want it to work. And I think Zach is a really good athlete, and I'm gonna give him a pass for last year because that was an unusual rookie season for everybody, and for him to come in there, that was difficult. You had no preseason games for him to work out some of the kinks. You had no of the OTAs, rookie camps for him, nothing. So you got to give him a little bit of a pass on that. What I saw last year when he was put in the games, he was taking a bad angle of pursuit. That had nothing to do with a hamstring. He was guessing where he had to be. He wasn't really sure from time to time. So we'll get a much better look at Zach Bond, but he's still at this point, he's a maybe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He's
no
a maybe.
doubt.
And Werner, I think, is a really solid player. As I told you before, man, across the board, I'd give him B's. Other than intelligence and instincts, he gets an A on that. But athletically, his ability to play the run, drop in coverage, blitz, you got to give him B's. And it may come around quickly, but don't give me this nonsense of, well, they've used 2 early picks on a linebacker. Why go out and get Quan Alexander? Okay, open your eyes and watch that film of what he played last year and tell me how good of a player he was before he went down.
Yeah.
Man, he made a difference. And okay, you can analytical this to death, but all I'm telling you is he made a difference on that defense. And I don't know what's going to be available for him free agency-wise. He's going to have to take a 1-year sort of prove-it deal somewhere. And, I think it would be a great fit. He knows this defense very well. It gives you a little bit of time to work those linebackers around a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with having him here for a year. And then, okay, because really for Zach, it's almost like this is his rookie season too.
Right.
So now you've got a bridge to the next year. You've got a guy who's played, and the negative with Quan, we've all known it, is the fact that he can't stay healthy for 16 games. Has been a difficult ride for him.
Yeah.
And so now you got a little bit of room here to work those young linebackers in, and also you have a veteran. Man, he's skilled. He don't need no preseason games. I play the kids. I don't. Quan Alexander, he can watch. Man, I want you ready when we play the Packers.
Right.
I don't care about preseason. Okay, I know you can play. What I don't know about is I can't tell you how good Zach Bond is, and neither can anyone else. Werner, again, as a rookie, I can't tell you how quick that transition is, but I can tell you about Quan if he's healthy, and he can play, and he can play at a pretty high level. So, again, the cornerback linebacker position is something I would take a long look at, because early on, I think your defense is going to have to carry a little bit more water than maybe it has, understanding that this offense is going to look different with Jameis. There's no doubt about that. It's going to look different with him. You're not going to run the same stuff with Winston that you were running with Breeze. He's a different style player. And Sean, he hasn't alluded to any of that, hey, we're going to do what's best for the team. Yeah, I get it. I knew exactly where he's going with this. He's basically sort of telling you, without telling you, we're going to have a little bit different look. How quickly that all comes around offensively. You do have your 5 starting offensive linemen back. You do, hopefully, Michael Thomas can stay healthy. Kamara is unbelievable football player. So you do have some key elements returning, but I think it may look structurally a little bit differently on what you want to do offensively, only because you want to play to Winston's strength as a quarterback. And it's different than Drew.
Right.
And how quickly that comes together. And, we were talking about this with Ron, that, all this stuff about, man, I'm worried about October and November because of the stretch of the tough games. Woo, woo, woo. Let me get the let me get the towel out to wipe up all of the tears. No, think about it. This team has played so well in October and early November throughout the years under Sean. Just do the history work, and it sort of repeats itself every year. My biggest concern is, where has this team struggled even when Breeze in his prime?
Beginning of the season, first month of the season.
Opening up the early season. And so, for me, those early games, Green Bay, New England in Game 3, Carolina in Game 2. Come on, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Those 3 games are critical because of the fact Peyton has brought this up on his coaches show so many times about getting off to a fast start, that he thinks that there's something to that. And that's sort of a Parcells type of line, too, that, we play it in quarters, the season in quarters. But, man, you can get off to a 3-1 start, or a 1-3 start. That's a big difference. You're playing from behind now. You're trying to catch up. And you see this team, how well it has hit its stride by October.
Yeah. Mike, do you think it's interesting you went offense, because we did talk about supplementing the defense, which makes a lot of sense. Do you think they need another receiver? Because that seems to be the other part of the conversation, adding a veteran receiver to the mix.
Well, it depends on the right receiver.
Okay. Is there one out there that makes sense stylistically? Because you said they're going to be different offensively with Jameis than Drew, which makes sense. So is there someone out there who would make sense?
This is just my opinion on how it may work out.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised sometimes during the preseason, especially late, with a team that's got maybe a young receiver that has looked pretty good. I got a veteran receiver, he's making some cash, that maybe you make a trade for a veteran wideout somewhere.
So the Saints trade their young receiver for a veteran?
No, the Saints trade a draft choice for a veteran receiver.
Got it.
And because, it happened with Teddy Bridgewater, okay? That Teddy was available. The Jets were sort of, at that time, they thought they were overloaded at quarterback.
Yep.
Okay? And you were able to make the deal for Teddy. And you see it every year. There is a little deal like that for a certain player. And I wouldn't be surprised that maybe you take that approach to it, that there's maybe a veteran receiver that you like, maybe not crazy about his contract, but you like him, and you think he could fit into what you are trying to do offensively. And he's battling some young kids. And maybe coach, GM says, you know what, maybe let's move him. Maybe he's in the final year of his contract. Let's move him. And you can get him. So those type players are there every year for you to acquire. Now, are you willing to do it, to go out and give that pickup for a veteran player? And it's probably not going to cost you a lot. Man, I'd do it. But every year, and talking to a couple of GMs and even former GMs, they were saying the most talk I have is not necessarily so much around draft time, but it's sort of late in the preseason. Now, you only got 3 this year, but say after the second preseason game, where, the phones are ringing. Hey, look, I'm looking to move a guy. You have any interest? This is what I'm looking in exchange for. And before I maybe make a decision to cut him after the third one, to keep a younger player, because pro football is sort of emulating the real world. Somebody making a lot of money, somebody making a little bit of money. I think the talent level's close. I'm sorry. We loved you, but it was we loved with a D at the end. Not, it doesn't end at love. And so it's, you sort of out the door. I do think that happens. Happens a lot more than people might think. Well, when you talk to people who have done that in the past and have been on that telephone and talking to other teams about players, and the big question mark is, do you pull the trigger? Are you willing to give up at that point? Because I think a lot of GMs are, okay, if you're trying to move him and you don't want a lot for him, I think you might cut him. You might just release him and I can get him and I don't have to give up anything in return. But if you look at where the Saints would kind of fall into that, then you fighting other teams for that player.
Yeah.
So if I got to give up a 6th-round pick or a 5th-round pick for a player, and I don't have to fight anybody for it, okay, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
And I think, Matt, that's where I'm just speculating. I think that's where the receiver might come in.
Okay. And to your point, Mike, Teddy Bridgewater was acquired for a 6th-round pick. So it was Teddy and a 6th for a 3. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. It was 20. It was Teddy and a 6 for a 3. That deal. I mean, if you get the player you want, that does make some sense. All right, let me do this. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back, Mike. I do want to ask your thoughts on Darren Rosenthal, what this means for the LSU offensive line. Looking ahead, your questions for Mike D in about 15 minutes from right now. Tons still to get to, and glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds. Remind you about our friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana. For years, I've told you so many examples of your friends and neighbors, our listeners, who have called Insurance Network of Louisiana. This process is so easy. I don't want it to be intimidating because sometimes people think insurance, I don't know, I don't know what my coverage is. I haven't looked at it in so long. Don't be intimidated. At Insurance Network of Louisiana, the guys and gals over there are awesome, and they can walk you through the entire process. It's easy. It starts with one phone call. You call Insurance Network of Louisiana, they take a little bit of information, and then they go shop. They do all the work for you. And then they'll come back with you and let you know if they were able to find you better coverage for less money. It's basically like this, the analogy I give. Would you hire an agent if you were an athlete that could only negotiate with one team? Or would you rather hire an agent that can negotiate the best deal among all the teams? That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Cesarac Rye Whiskey.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. As always, love telling you about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, windows, doors, siding, reliefwindows.com. Had an awesome conversation with my guy Brandon Holly last night. They are rolling, setting records every single month, and all the while maintaining their great level of customer service. never taking a dollar from you until the work is done and you're thrilled with it. Expect above and beyond. Expect exceptional customer service. Expect beautiful work every time with Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. And if you're looking to get back to work, Relief Windows is looking for you. Apply online or in person. reliefwindows.com. reliefwindows.com. All right, we got Mike D with us here. Mike, I do want to ask you about Darren Rosenthal, but I would be remiss if this day came and went, I didn't ask you about your neighbor, Joe Clark, someone who you've talked about here on this show you and I have done this for 11 years, and you've told so many stories about Joe Clark, but saw on Twitter earlier this week you post, unfortunately, we lost Joe Clark at 88 years old, and I'd love it if you could maybe just share a remembrance for those that saw it or maybe have heard you talk about Joe over the years and maybe didn't know the man.
Man, listen, Joe, unbelievable career, and he was the most modest guy. I introduced him to a young lady from Baton Rouge who has been and knows a lot of coaches, and her deal was there is no way he was a coach. He got no ego. He got no ego. Now he did have one, but it wasn't a huge one. He's just a great guy, and you think about this guy who grew up in Inglewood, California, and was an All-American quarterback at Santa Clara. The only time I ever heard him complain was every once in a while, he would tell me, I'm still upset about Dan Pastorini breaking my records. I said, Joe, okay, Dan Pastorini broke your records in the 60s, early 70s. You best get over it by now. He gets drafted by the Cleveland Browns, plays for Paul Brown, coaches for him. Think about that.
Yeah.
Paul Brown is maybe the most influential head coach in the history of pro football. The stuff he did in the 50s and 60s and even into the 70s, they're still doing today. It's amazing. And he picked a lot up from that, from his time with Coach Brown. And to think that the last 26 years, he's lived here in Matthews on the Bayou.
Mm.
And he would always tell me, Mike, I'm the only guy that my house is more probably talked about more than me. Joe lived in a Sears house, bought off the Sears catalog in 1892.
What?
The Fauché family bought it off the Sears catalog. It got shipped via barge down the Mississippi, and then there is actually a photo of 12 mules dragging that home from the bayou to where it is today. And so he says, I'm the only son. I'm the only guy that my house is much more interesting than me. So first time I go there, he says, pull down that ladder in the attic and tell me what you think. I said, what you mean? He said, pull on that ladder and see what, I get up there and, okay, this is a house now, that is still in unbelievably great shape. And I take a look in that attic and everything, it's braced. And that's the first thing I saw. Sometimes in a new home, it's not braced like this. And I look up there, I said, wow, it's really braced well. I can see why it withstood. Think about 1892 and all the weather conditions that house has been through, storms it's been through. And he said, you notice anything else? I said, not really. He said, you see a nail? I said, no, I sure don't. It was pegged. The wood connections were pegged in. There is no nail to it. It's not nailed. It was pegged, and it was notched. Man, you talk about craftsmanship, and I'm talking about this is early 1890s to build a house like this, and they got homes, and tragically we see the condo come down, and this house has lived through all of that. It was unbelievable, but he's just a great guy, innovator. 1981, he's at Nicholls State. And Steve Ensminger was his GA. And
oh, wow.
I never saw this before at that time. One back, three wides, flex tight end. That's what they do today. Joe ran that back in the 80s. And I'm like, what the world's going on here? And he was sort of a mad scientist with things when he retired from coaching. I just think about he goes to NFL Europe, and it was a developmental league. And Al Davis had told him, Joe, we're bringing you in, Joe, to develop these quarterbacks. And sure enough, he had Jay Fiedler, who ended up being a starter in the NFL. And then at one shot, you talk about a lightning strike, Kurt Warner, Jake Delhomme, Mike McCoy. Now, Mike ended up being an assistant coach and ended up being the head coach of the San Diego Chargers for a while.
Yeah.
Jake, just a great career with the Carolina Panthers. And the Saints sort of put him there. But it was Kurt. They watched him work out in Tampa. There were a lot of NFL people that said, okay, we'll get you a young guy, a younger guy than Kurt. Kurt was working at a grocery store playing arena football. And Joe said, no, you're not. He's on this team. And he stood up for Kurt. And Kurt, to this day, has told me, hey, if it wouldn't have been for Joe Clark, my career would have probably ended in Tampa because that's where they were working out before they sent him to NFL Europe. And he said, Joe stood up for me. He said, I'm not, he's part of this team. I don't care what y'all guys are saying. And so, I think about that, 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks that he was able to coach in his 70s, because he had just reached 70 years old. He was in that region and went through it with that, coached with Cincinnati Bengals, coached with the Green Bay Packers, had 3 stints with Tulane, got fired on the train ride back from Baton Rouge to New Orleans when they got beat 62-7. And he was like, is the train going to stop and let us off, or are we going to be like a hobo and have to jump off? He said, no, you're going to stop. His best story is the Adam Vinatieri's story. He had never coached special teams. And the Patriots sent Vinatieri to NFL Europe. And Al Luginbill tells him, hey, listen, Joe, we don't have enough people. You got to coach special teams. Joe's, I never coached special teams in my life. Never. He says, well, get ready. He said, it's a start for everything. You got it. And so he said, I spent 80% of my time on offense. I was the play caller, offensive coordinator. And he said, then I'd go work with the kickers. And he said, we had a deep snapper. He said he looked as old as me. So he must have really looked old, because even when Joe was young, he looked old. And he's like, man, he had been through every league you could think of. He said, I had a punter that had been cut 8 times in the NFL. And he said, I see this young kid, and he's standing up. And I said, and Joe was sort of hard of hearing unless you were in front of him. And he said, what's your name, kid? And he said, he probably told me Adam. He said, I thought I heard Alan. And he said, okay, kid. He said, anything you want to tell me how you want the ball placed when you kick it? He said, yeah. He said, when they snap it, he said, I'd like for the holder to tilt the ball forward a degree. And then he says, oh, you want it tilted forward? He said, yeah. And Joe was like, listen, kid, I haven't coached special teams, but even I know you got to tilt that ball back. He said, no, coach. He said, I want it tilted forward. So he said, man, I got the deep snapper and the holder look at me and say, Coach, what do you want us to do? He said, well, you heard him. Tilt it forward. He said, Mikey, he hit that thing. He said, it sounded like a cannon went off. He hit it from 45 yards. He said, I moved him back, 54-yard field goal. He hits it through. So he said, I start moving him hashes, left hash, right hash, just to mess with him. He said he hit every one. So he said, I walk across the field. Luginbill said, well, how did he look? He said, who is that? He said, the kicker. He said, Allen really kicked the ball well today. and Luginbill was Allen. We don't have an Allen. He said, no. He said, Allen, the place kicker. He said, he's from South Dakota. He's like, we don't have no Al. It's Adam, not Al. Oh, okay. He said, Mike, I never called him Adam in his entire time. I always would call him Dakota. So he said, we playing in London. He said, the weather kicks up really so bad. And he said, a front passes through. We have the wind blowing in our face. We're trying to get downfield for a field goal late. And he said, we get down to the 38-yard line. And so we got 8 seconds left. I got no more timeouts left. So he says, you know what? I'm not chancing it. I'm going to let Dakota kick it. So he said, man, I'm hollering the special teams, get on the field. He said, I'm looking around. He said, everybody's out there, but he said, Dakota. He said, I look, and he said, Mike, he's so cool. He's sitting on the bench, and he's playing pitch and catch with the helmet with himself. He's pitching the helmet up, catching it, pitching it. He said, "Hey, Dakota, they're waiting for you." He said, "Oh, Coach," he said, "I thought you had a timeout." "No," he said, "Get up there and kick it." And he said, Vinatieri tells him, "Coach, do you want me to kind of slow down my delivery on the kick, or you just want me to kick it? I see we got 8 seconds." He said, "No, kid, I just want you to kick it through the uprights. Get in there and kick it." He said, Mike, he never saw the kick go through. He kicks it, had his head down. He said he swirled around the holder and came back to the sidelines, and he said, "Coach, what you want me to do with the rest of the 2 seconds left on the clock?"
Wow.
And so he tells me, Super Bowl Sunday, we watching the first time the Patriots are playing the Rams, they're getting field goal range to win it, and there's Vinatieri on the field. And he calls me up and he says, "How much money you got in your pocket?" You know, at that time, I probably had 150. He said, "You want to lose it? Bet me that he don't make it." But he was.
Did you bet him?
Guy. What?
Did you bet
hell
him?
No. No. If he's asking me to bet, no. I knew Joe well enough that I wasn't going to put that on the line. But he was just a great guy, unbelievable, way ahead of his time. He would go to Cincinnati. Him and Ensminger drove from, I think, Baton Rouge to Cincinnati, and they were going to meet with the Bengals on offensive formations. And that was the year Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl and played the 49ers. And Steve will tell a story. After about 2 hours, Joe wasn't there to watch. Joe was coaching the coaches for the Bengals on the offense that the Cincinnati ran.
Wow.
He just had that kind of mind that when he retired, he'd wake up at 4 o'clock every morning and do a game plan for an opponent he'd never play, just to keep his mind going. And he unbelievable. And for music lovers out there, if you were around Joe, you heard one thing over and over and over again: Steely Dan. He played that everywhere. You got in the car with him, you heard Steely Dan. If you were sitting with him talking football, you heard Steely Dan. I mean, that was his deal. Man, he loved Steely Dan. And so we're going to miss him. He had a huge impact for so many people, and you think about the impact that he had on so many people calling last week when they found out he had gotten really ill. And it was amazing. He's a great guy. I'm going to miss him. We had a lot of fun times. He worked with a number of NFL prospective quarterbacks. He would do that in the offseason. And he's in his 80s doing this, walking with a cane and coaching quarterbacks. It was unbelievable. We're doing this in Matthews, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And so I'll miss him. He's a great guy. And he was the head coach at EA at East Ascension in late 70s.
Mike Detillier, some great remembrances there of Joe Clark, who, of course, Mike's mentioned so many times on this show over the years. Let me knock out a quick break, Mike. We'll have a quick wrap-up when we come back. I will ask Mike about Darren Rosenthal with the time we have left. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, expanding healthcare in the greater Baton Rouge area, and literally expanding healthcare in the greater Baton Rouge area with all their locations. Of course, they've got the Bluebonnet campus. They've got their Mid-City location as well, and the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital with emergency care, world-class emergency care in Ascension Parish. World-class emergency care has never been closer in Ascension Parish than it is right now, thanks to the Baton Rouge General Hospital. And, of course, Express Care locations as well, all over the greater Baton Rouge area. So if you need to get in a hurry and get out and see a doctor for whatever bumps or bruises or scrapes or aches or pains you may have, of course, the Baton Rouge General Hospital is accessible. You can learn more at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. If you're looking for COVID-19 vaccine information, it's all there as well, online at brgeneral.org. Expanding healthcare in the greater Baton Rouge area, it's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Cesarac Rye Whiskey.
Final segment with Mike D. Mike, we got about 3 minutes. I got to ask you about Darren Rosenthal transferring out. I'll just give you the floor for these 3 minutes, what it means for LSU in 2021 and beyond.
I was surprised he came back, to be honest with you. I had a lot of calls about the Rosenthal in late November and into December from NFL people looking. They knew what type of talent he was. They were concerned about off the field stuff, and could he be focused, and could he, that sort of thing. And and my answer to him was what I'll tell you today. I don't know, and so it's a big loss because they were counting on him, and now Cameron Wire comes into play. And I think Cam's a really good player. He's physically gotten bigger. He's worked hard to get stronger. I talked to Ed. He had told me, Mike, I think he could play left or right tackle. If we needed to. So now, man, do they need him at left tackle? And you got zilch behind him now. I mean, because really Cam was your guy. If something happened to Austin or something happened to Rosenthal, Cam could fill in either way. What happens if something goes down with Cam?
Yeah.
Now who becomes? Is it Dumerville? Is it Xavier Hill? So that, to me, is the biggest thing to watch in the spring. Everybody's going to be watching Everybody's going to be watching the quarterbacks. My thing is the development of the offensive line, not only for this year, but next year. But I'm worried more about this year because that's the year I'm playing in. But, man, if something happens injury-wise, I know what will happen inside with Bradford could step in. Man, at the edges now, you awfully thin at tackle.
Is Garrett Dellinger a possibility at tackle, Mike? The
You
freshman?
want to play an 18-year-old freshman?
I don't. That's why I'm asking, though. I mean, it's been a rare day, but we've seen it.
You have, but you haven't seen it a lot. And there's a reason. That's a difference between an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old young man. It's not the speed part of the game. It's the physicality. And it's not every once in a while. It's every week when you play in the SEC.
Right.
So I think they're certainly going to give him some opportunities and a lot of work. How well he can handle the physical part of that to me is always the case with a young offensive lineman. I think footwork, the quickness part, they have that at that age. It's the physicality and doing it week to week.
He is Mike Detillier, SaintsReport.com, MikeDetillier.com, Saints News Network over at SI.com. Been with us every Thursday in hour number 2 for 11 years now. We're looking forward to another football season right around the bend. Mike D, you're the best. We appreciate you as always, man.
Thank you, Matthew.
Have a great rest of your day. It's after further review. Of course, our chats with Mike are brought to you by the one and only New Orleans Original Sazerac Rye Whiskey. And Thursday's AFR is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. SportsCenter catching up on national headlines. Hour 3, staring you straight in the face.
AFR.
I tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Call us at Hudco Roofing. You notice there's a storm brewing in the Gulf, and you know what happens every time there's storm season or any time that there's issues with people's roofs. Door knockers, man. I'm going to encourage you to ignore the door knockers. Ignore the people who are just playing a numbers game. Ignore the out-of-staters that are here just to do a numbers game, get up on your roof, churn out some insurance claims, and be gone. Trust a company that's Louisiana-born, been here for 20 years, uses Louisiana products, the CertainTeed shingles manufactured in Shreveport, Louisiana, and will be here long after the storm or whatever you have going on. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. You can contact us online. You can use the text or chat function online, or you can call us 364-1007, 364-1007, or HudcoRoofing.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NFL fines the Washington football team $10 million after an investigation into the club's workplace culture. The league says the money will be used to support organizations committed to character education, anti-bullying, and healthy relationships. The Milwaukee Bucks will play Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight without Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's out with a hyperextended left knee. Advantage Hawks, says ESPN's Seth Greenberg.
I think that the Hawks have more guys that can make plays. I love what they're doing defensively in terms of loading the box, basically defending now, pressuring Middleton, and then defending the Bucks in a lot of ways like they defended the Knicks.
Seth Greenberg on Get Up. Our Game 5 coverage starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. With the new relaxed NCAA rules on name, image, and likeness, 2005 Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush says he should get his trophy back and his records reinstated. A 4-year investigation determined that he received extra benefits at USC.
We're back on Friday reacting to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals as the Bucks and the Hawks battle it out for the ever-important 3-2 lead. We'll tell you who got the advantage Friday morning. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. A ton to get to on a landmark day here for college athletics, really in all sports. NIL is live. It is active. It is here to stay. Student athletes can now make money on their name, image, and likeness, and many are already cashing in. Notably here from LSU, the likes of Derek Stingley, Miles Brennan have already signed deals through Match Point with Walk-On, Small Sliders, Smoothie King. You're also seeing others out there through different apps and platforms for appearance fees, potential autographs. Bo Nix, Auburn quarterback, has signed a deal with an iced tea brand to represent. This is something that we're going to see. As I stated at the open of the show, if you were here, I think this feels very much like the opening of NFL free agency where you have this flurry. It's almost like businesses and athletes are FOMOing into some deals. And eventually the market's going to set, it's going to cool down. And I think there are some that are going to go bust. You're going to have some businesses that rush into this, maybe make bad deals that don't net them a return. And similarly, I think you're going to have some athletes eager to sign the first thing offered, and they're going to make bad decisions. They're going to be either undervalued or signed with a company maybe they're not thrilled to endorse, however it may go. But you're going to have some of that, I think, invariably. But we'll all learn it together. One of the more interesting things that has developed today came from Dave Portnoy. Now, he's the president of Barstool Sports. Now, the reason this is significant, I want to point this out, and under NIL law, student athletes can have representation now. You can marketing representation, because there is a difference. You're not hiring an agent, as far as your representative for the next level. You can hire a marketing agent, though. So you're going to see sports agents also register as marketing agents, because why wouldn't you? If you're a sports agency and you want to sign this potential player whenever they turn pro, why not get in with them now and help them get marketing deals? It makes sense from their perspective. Well, one of the more interesting things that developed today is from Dave Portnoy. If you're not familiar, Barstool Sports is it's a hundreds of $1 million valuation company that produces content. It's a wild story. I mean, these guys just created a media company that they didn't think there was anything like it, so they created one that they thought they'd like, and it's blown up. It's massive. And Dave Portnoy kind of has this reputation for doing whatever the hell he wants. He's got more money than God and kind of has that attitude. If you remember, there was an auction last year during COVID to watch a game with Roger Goodell, maybe in his suite or something like that, and Portnoy won it, and then they disqualified his bid because he's just absolutely railed on Roger Goodell over the years. Portnoy's often done stuff like that. Anyway, so a bit ago, Dave Portnoy on the Barstool Sports Twitter feed posted this video.
Okay, so big news out of the NCAA. Players, they can no longer prevent them from making money on their likeness, their image, all that stuff. I didn't give it a ton of thought until a couple hours ago when Adelaide Halverson, she's a volleyball player, Jacksonville State, DM me. She's like, yo, I want to be the first Barstool athlete. It's like, all right, what does that mean? I'm in. I don't even know what that means. I'm in. I love the sound of it. It's like, I don't know, just send me some free merch. Not only that, are we sending her all this merch? We're creating Barstool Athlete exclusive. You can't buy it, only for our sponsored athletes. 10 minutes after we signed Adelaide Halverson, our first ever, congratulations, official Barstool athlete. Welcome to the fam. A football player from Stanford reached out. Same thing. He's like, how do I become a Barstool athlete? Listen, how do you become a Barstool athlete? If you play Division I sports and you blink at me, we will sign you. We'll send you merch, the custom. You want pizza? We'll give you pizza. You want to come parties for free? You name it. Barstool Athletes, Inc. I just made that up in my head right there on live stream here. We may become the most powerful agency in the world. And it all started with Adelaide Halverson, Jacksonville State. Bam! You put it up, she'll spike it right in your face.
So that may fly over the heads of some, but understand Barstool absolutely skews younger. There's no question. And you can tell us by Portnoy's delivery, the nature of their content, they skew younger. The Barstool Sports Twitter feed has 2.9 million followers. The video that Dave Portnoy put out has already been watched more than 700,000 times, and it's been in just about 2.5 hours. This thing has gone viral. And he's saying any student athlete, you blink at me, you can be a Barstool athlete. Like, this is the kind of thing where Barstool might have just created an enormous revenue arm completely unintentionally. Because, now listen, if you, Barstool has created, as Portnoy said there, the Barstool Athlete Initiative. And if you go look at the Barstool Athlete Twitter feed, I'm going to do this real time, so bear with me. I'm going to pull this up real time. Barstool Athletes. I had it up a moment ago. Bear with me, please, if you would, because I want to pull this up. Because an LSU athlete has already signed as well. Here it is. Barstool Athletics is the Twitter feed. Barstool Athletics. If you go to the Barstool Athletics Twitter feed, here you go, Paul. You can pull this up. We'll just do this real time. If you go to the Barstool Athletics Twitter feed, this just started today, by the way. Just 2 hours ago. They already got 4,800 followers on this Twitter feed that's just a couple of hours old. Maybe an hour old. They posted Portnoy's video an hour ago. So in an hour, they've gotten 5,000 followers. They just keep posting welcome to this particular athlete. That's not. This is Ike Man 98. This is Isaac Martin from Louisville football. Welcome to Cole Fryer from East Stroudsburg football. Like this guy from East Stroudsburg who had no other opportunity, no doubt, is now an athlete. E.J. Andrews from Fresno State baseball. Sydney Parrish from Oregon women's basketball. Let's see. Fresh Legs Diaz. This is Andrew Diaz from Massachusetts Maritime. Like, do you understand? Like, maybe you don't understand. Johnny Messina from Maine football. Maddie Olson from EMU soccer. Colin Gillespie from Villanova basketball. Kevin Copps from Arkansas, who might well win the Golden Spikes. He's now a Barstool athlete. This South Carolina swimmer is on here. Florida Gulf Coast cross-country runner Braden Rika. Like, anybody. He wasn't lying. Here you go. Ezra Dickerson, an LSU swimmer, is now a Barstool athlete, as he's saying. So it's not to say that these guys are going to generate contracts in the neighborhood of, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. But what you are seeing is in a blink, Barstool already has athletes that it can represent on these marketing deals. Now, maybe it's just merch and it's helping them grow their brand, but what if it being plugged into the Barstool ecosystem generates marketing opportunities for these athletes and revenue opportunity for Barstool? My point is, like, we may have just organically witnessed the birth of what might be the biggest athletic marketing agency in the country. Portnoy's not wrong. He may well be, because all of these student athletes have now been empowered to do it. What a day, man. What an absolutely insane day today is. And you're seeing so much all in this whole day and this whole ecosystem and how it's all happening. Darren Ravel is tweeting deals as almost real time as they're coming out. Kellen Grandy, who transferred from Davidson to Kentucky, he's signed with a sandal maker, iSlide. If you just go look at Darren Ravel's Twitter, I mean, you'll see all of these. Here's one, Drake Heismeyer. I don't know who Drake Heismeyer is, but he is a Missouri offensive lineman who has an appearance tonight at a Mellow Mushroom. He's getting paid to just show up at a Mellow Mushroom tonight and make a few bucks. Like, here's one. PetSmart is partnering with Arkansas wide receiver Trey Knox and his pup, Blue. So PetSmart has a deal now with Trey Knox. I mean, there's cameo prices for Spencer Rattler and Ryan Helinski. And again, the point that I've continued to make, and this is the big one, is, LSU gymnast Olivia Dunn, and Ravel tweeted about her as well. But Olivia Dunn is the one gigantic exception. Olivia Dunn is in New York City today, and she's the one that has 4 million followers on TikTok and 1.1 million followers on Instagram. And she is going to make millions of dollars. Starting today, she will sign contracts that in total value will make her millions of dollars. Darren Ravel tweeted, LSU gymnast at Livy Dunn shares her TikTok profile in New York City. She bought a billboard, apparently, in New York City with her Instagram profile on there. I mean, or I guess that's her TikTok profile, with 3.9 million followers. I mean, she is going viral and she's going to make a ton of money, but she's the exception. More so what you're going to see is the other things. The kid making the appearance and making some money. And, like, that's just, by the way, Cade Beloso. Rodney Beloso, I guess, kind of has me to thank for this one. But I saw Hot Rods Creole has Cade Beloso as an endorser now. So I tweeted that out. Kendall Rogers retweeted it. Darren Ravel grabbed a hold of it. And there's Bayou Dust from Hot Rods Creole on Darren Ravel's Twitter feed with 2 million followers. Pretty good day for Hot Rods Creole. I mean, that's incredible exposure that you can't buy otherwise. So those are the types of athletes that largely are going to benefit. And overwhelmingly, you're seeing positive reaction to this from former athletes. Listen, if it was good enough for Joe Burrow, I don't think anybody could say anything negative. Joey B got in on it today via Twitter. Exciting time for college athletes. Most excited for non-scholarship athletes who may have been working jobs outside of sports to make ends meet. Free meals, sponsored posts, signings will make their lives a lot easier. Long overdue. And he's so right. It's long overdue. when they were selling Joe Burrow's jersey. He spoke out about it while he was an athlete. Ben Simmons was vilified here, but he spoke about it as well. A lot of people capitalize on college athletes for a long time. It's high time that they're able to capitalize on their own name, image, and likeness. So another sort of subplot to this, if you missed it, is that Reggie Bush today tweeted that basically he wants his Heisman Trophy back. We'll get into this coming up a little bit later. If you want to join us, you can. 499-1045, 499-1045, or toll-free 844-568. Matt, 844-568-6288. Tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. Do it now. Stick around here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. With 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, there are trucks of plants and flowers, trees and shrubs still arriving daily to keep these greenhouses full. We are into the summer. I know most people like to plant at the start of the summer, but it is July, and you know warm weather is going to be here for months to come, and you're going to be enjoying your outdoor spaces for July and August and into September. Think about how many times you've gone to early October football games in Tiger Stadium and sweated your T-Hiney off. You know you're going to enjoy beautiful weather. You're going to enjoy your outdoor spaces for many more months. So get by Clegg's Nursery. Pick up a pallet of flowers. If you're not sure what to buy, just ask somebody. Ask somebody in a blue shirt. They'll be able to help you. And just plant something. Beautify your exterior spaces. And if you're checking off a list, honeydews for that do-it-yourselfer, Clegg's is partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So anything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you this.
Doctor further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm going to come back to the NIL stuff in just a second. Also, I do want to talk about what the Saints do here in the offseason moving forward, considering they've signed Ryan Ramczyk and now freed up about an extra $5 to $6 million in cap space. So I am going to get to that. One of the I got a call last night. Every night when I get home from work, I take my son Drew, and we go somewhere. He likes to have an outing. We go generally to a store. I think it's just all the stimulus he likes. Well, I got a call from Darren James. And, Darren has been a sponsor of the show for a long time. Just awesome. I tell you all the time about him, top 1,000 realtor in America, and just been a great friend of mine for many years. And I called, and so Darren called, which was not uncommon. And he asked me if I had heard his story. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Darren James had $50 billion, with a B, $50 billion mistakenly deposited into his bank account. DJ's with us. What's up, man? How are you?
Man, look, I am very blessed, and I'm very happy to be on your show, my friend. Thank you.
Darren, okay, logistically, when did you first see that you had $50 billion in your bank account? And this is not a joke, by the way. Like, you've gotten calls from CNN, like news outlets, the story's making its rounds.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So it happened this past Saturday. My wife was called me in. She says, Darren, she says, you know how things happen in threes. So my son had broken his arm, I guess about 2 weeks ago or so, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what now? And she pulls out her phone and she shows me the screen, and there's $50 billion in our account. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where did it come from? Like, do I have a rich uncle? Who's going to be knocking at my door next? Where did the money come from? So that's the initial. I mean, it happened. That's what happened.
So
it was unbelievable.
All right. So you notice there's a $50 billion deposit in your account. Like, what do you do immediately?
Well, she called the bank, and we had to report it because I didn't earn it, or nobody earned it for that matter. We don't know anybody with that kind of money. So it wasn't rightfully ours to keep, no matter what, if it was in there, or maybe a rich uncle, or maybe that Saudi Arabian prince that I emailed one time who was going to gift me a whole bunch of money came through. That could have possibly been it. But the long end of the story short, she called the bank, reported to the bank, and they said, we got to call. We can't do anything today. The banks, all the systems are down or whatever, and we'll have to either call the 800 number or check back on Monday. Well, we wasn't calling an 800 number with a $50 billion mistake on our account. So long end of the story short, it stayed in there. We monitored it all the way through. Like, it stayed in there Saturday, it stayed in there Sunday, Monday, and then on Tuesday when she checked the account, boom, it was gone. And what's crazy is we don't know how long before we even checked the account that it was in there. It could have been in there on Friday, Thursday. We don't even know. So that's a mystery. And the thing is that how did it get there? And we still don't know that, but we have found out that it happened to several people. I think the number was 150 people across the United States. What I understand, I don't know if they're all with the same banking institution or not. Haven't figured that out, but I was worried more about based on my previous career in law enforcement, I was worried more about the compromise of the account than anything else.
So wait, 150 people had $50 billion deposited in their account?
I don't know their amounts. I don't know any of the amounts of that. I just know that there was a glitch with the system, and there was a lot of money, and it affected a bunch of people. That's what I know.
So let's see.
Crazy.
150 divided by we're in a country 350 million people roughly. So right. That's 0.00000043. You're in that lucky 0.0000043% that had this money deposited in your account. So did you buy anything? Like, were you at all inspired to say, man, I'm gonna go buy a car, pay cash, to see if this works?
No. Not at all. There was a hold placed on the account initially due to the amount and so forth, and we didn't rightfully earn it. So there's a legality stance and there's a morality stance, and I always always honest with anything that I earn. And then the fact of the matter is we didn't earn it, even if it was $1. We didn't earn it. And so there was never a point in my mind that, there was a point that came across my mind that said, maybe I got a rich uncle that left it in my account. That would be an unbelievable act of generosity. But, since we didn't earn it, we had to find out where it came from. And we're still trying to figure that out. What the bank is telling us now is that it was a glitch with their system, but we still have no idea of how it got there, the account being compromised. We're still working on that part of the investigation.
I mean, it's like in Office Space when Michael Bolton has the glitch, but it's like a 6-figure glitch. This is $50 billion, man.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I am part of the 1 comma club, not the 3 comma club.
That's so good. I mean, I'm like looking at the richest people in the world. I'm like, Darren, for a minute, like you were right there outside of the top 10 richest people in the world.
No doubt. It was a great feeling while it lasted, theoretically in theory, but I knew deep down in that I didn't earn it and I wasn't going to be able to keep it unless the rich uncle or the Saudi Arabian prince came through that I responded to that email at once. And that just didn't happen. So,
I mean, Michael Dell, who founded Dell Computers, his net worth is $50.3 billion. So, like, for a minute, you were as wealthy as Michael Dell.
That's right. Right.
You sold a hell of a lot of homes, man. If you had $50 billion in your bank account. So
a whole lot of.
What's the craziest thing that's happened since, man? Like, I know when you and I were talking, like, you've done some interviews, like media or content. It's like, what's the craziest thing that's happened since all this?
Well, everybody's coming forward. They're thanking me for being honest with the money and so forth. But that's the right thing to do. It's all about leading by example and just trying to be a better person. And the one of the news outlets asked me if I did have $50 billion, what would I do with it? And I would bless others. That's one of the callings that I have. I love helping other people get to the next step in life, and that's what it's all about. And that just would have been another medium to be able to get there. But maybe one day I will be able to get there and be able to bless as many people as like I've been blessed. So it's been an awesome ride. It's been fun. Been able to meet a lot of people, talk to a lot of people since that's happened. It's I guess I got the screenshots now to say that I was a billionaire for 4 days. but it's been amazing, man. It's been pretty neat.
What if you? I guess this is hypothetical, but like, what if you didn't contact the bank to tell them the money was there? Like, eventually they would have known that sum of money was missing, right? But like,
somebody would have been knocking at my door. Somebody would have found. Somebody would have found out that. Yeah, that's right. Somebody would have been knocking at the door, and again, it goes to the point that it wasn't earned by us. So the fact of the matter is that it wasn't earned, so it wasn't right for the Irish, and that's the bottom line behind it.
That's still wild, man. What a story!
It's unbelievable.
Next time, call me like the second you get $50 billion in your account, so I can come look at your phone. How about that? Like, don't wait 4 days to tell me. All right.
That's right, brother. That's right.
All right, DJ. Appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Wild story. Let us know if you ever find out what happened, like where it came from and everything like that. Let us know.
I definitely will, man. Thanks for having me part of the show, and thanks to all the listeners for all the support over all the years. I really appreciate all of you guys.
Thanks you got it, DJ. We'll see you, man. That is Darren James. He's the best, man. Darren, as I've told you so many times, he's an incredible guy, works like no other. And I'm not surprised at all that he would see that and just immediately think, all right, I got to give this back. But, I mean, dog, I'd have been tempted to at least go buy something. I mean, if it's $50 billion, Muse, like if it's $50 billion, like, are they really going to miss
25,000 out of $50 billion?
Like,
but that's my 25,000.
Let's go have a really good dinner.
At least one. Bottle service.
Let's make it rain out here. Yeah. Buy dinner for the whole restaurant.
If you had $50 billion for one day, you got to do something.
What would I?
He had it for 4.
Yeah, no. If I had $50 billion, wow. Do you realize if you had $50 billion, you could literally live the most lavish lifestyle just on interest. If you were making 1% interest on $50 billion, just 1% interest on $50 billion, that's $500 million. Like, that's insane. 1% interest would be $500 million. $500 million in interest. Oh my God, that's crazy. Anyway, DJ, $50 billion in his bank account.
4-day billionaire,
Dude,
man.
Can you imagine?
A 4-day billionaire.
Imagine just opening your bank account and seeing that.
I'd probably faint.
And letting it sink in that this is I'm actually in my banking app. This is actually my account, and there's there's $50 billion in there. Not like 500. It's not like, they screwed up and sent me $50,000, which would be crazy in and of itself. But that almost doesn't even seem like a real amount of money.
And it happened to 150 people.
I know.
Maybe they didn't all get 50 billion, like DJ said, but 150 people just randomly ended up with literally billions of dollars in their bank account total, at least throughout the 150.
If 150 people all ended up with $50 billion, you wonder why we're headed toward hyperinflation and the value of dollar is crap. Which is what happens. Everybody was super pumped about your stimulus checks. It's that's what happened. You can't just print money. It's it devalues the dollar.
Do you think anyone didn't call the bank out of the 150 people?
Hell yeah.
How many?
Kidding me?
How many, though, out of the 150? If you had to guess.
Oh, yeah, here's the principle, okay? If you're walking down the street and you see a $10 bill on the ground, do you pick it up?
Yeah, of course.
You put it in your pocket?
Yeah, of course.
It's not yours?
Yeah, but you don't know whose it is. I mean, it's $10 could have been there for 3 days and just floating through the wind. I mean, you don't know where that came from.
What's the point? It's not yours.
It's $10, not $50 billion.
But the premise is the same. It's not yours. You didn't earn it. That's the premise.
I don't know. I guess
we compromise sometimes. See, we compromise our integrity.
I'd pick up the $10 bill. I'd call the bank if $50 billion ended up in my account.
With $50 billion, I don't think you're calling the bank just because you don't think it's yours. I think you'd be terrified that someone would show up at your house with dark suits and firearms in a dark car.
Yeah,
that's a really terrifying amount of money. But the premise is still the same. You didn't earn that $10.
Fair.
You just lucked into it. He lucked into $50 billion.
$50 billion.
Might have gone and bought me a Maserati.
Or two.
It's AFR.
AFR.
Could have bought me some Ichiban. Could have bought the whole restaurant. Bought out the Wong family. Ichiban, Essen near Perkins. And I bet you they'd have sold if I could have come in and written that check. Essen near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi, best hibachi, and the best of 225 awards. And, of course, from our friends at Ichiban, their newest concept is Boru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Authentic Japanese ramen. And if you have not yet been to Electric Depot, this is an awesome, awesome date night. Okay? You've got Boru, authentic Japanese ramen. Boru is attached to the Sweet Society dessert shop. It's Japanese desserts, Japanese ice cream. They have these waffle cones shaped like a fish that are actually a cookie that they put the stuff in there, and they can add Nutella or custard. It's divine. Check it out. And a lot of nice. They have live music there as well. It's Boru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street.
Corval Toyota in Opelousas Happy Town, USA has it all. New Toyotas with great gas mileage, awesome prices, and a service department that can take care of all your vehicle needs. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Any make, any model. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle purchase. The process is easy, fast, and free. Find out what you can get for your car today at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Remember, it's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Remember about the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com. No matter your refractive issue, Dr. Blake Williamson, he can take care of you. Of course, I had LASIK. Jimmy Ott had lens replacement. My dad, who had RK back in the early 90s, he had a lens replacement. He'd start wearing glasses again now, almost 70 years old, doesn't need glasses anymore. Told you about Hester. Ditched the glasses now. A little PRK. Had LASIK, 20 years ago. Now doesn't need glasses anymore. No matter your age or refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center has an option for you to spend your life without contacts or glasses. It's the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020. Or WilliamsonEYE.com. Reggie Bush released a statement today. He wrote, over the last few months, on multiple occasions, my team and I have reached out to both the NCAA and the Heisman Trust in regard to the reinstatement of my college records and the return of my Heisman. We left multiple messages for Michael Comerford, the president of the Heisman Trust, but instead received a call from Rob Whalen, the executive director, who stated Mr. Comerford would not be calling us back and that in any event, they could not help us. We reached out to the NCAA on multiple occasions and received no help or got no response at all. It is my strong belief that I won the Heisman Trophy solely due to my hard work and dedication on the football field, and it is also my firm belief that my records should be reinstated. So, Reggie Bush is putting it out there. And with enough public support, he may actually get these people to move. 5,300 retweets, 2,500 likes already. And I would imagine that will only continue to grow as we move forward. That is interesting, to say the very least, at what may happen there. I know we spent a lot of time on this today, but it's just such a groundbreaking day in intercollegiate athletics. And it's worth noting again that LSU has won the day. And I know we live sort of in our purple and gold vacuum. We do. We live in our purple and gold vacuum. There's no doubt about that. And so we are hyper aware of what LSU is doing because we're paying attention. But LSU has made the rest of the college landscape pay attention as well. They dropped the hype video earlier today about NIL brand. There was a lot of forethought there to how they approached this today. Billboard in Times Square. A lot of people are figuring out as they go. LSU had a plan. And the biggest thing that this is going to help, we talked about in hour one, specifically with recruiting, the way LSU is putting together its packages for student athletes is they are allowing student athletes to use LSU logos, their marks, and also facilities, as long as their endorsement deals don't conflict with an LSU corporate partner. That adds tremendous value. And that's something that LSU can go sell on the recruiting trail as well. Like, you want to use Tiger Stadium for your NIL, as long as it's a company that doesn't conflict with something that's a corporate partner, go ahead and do it. And then LSU football recruiting, the verified football recruiting page, just put this out today. They put out a graphic. It's a picture of Jamar Chase. And it says, it's basically knowing your value. It says what Jamar Chase's earning potential would have been while he was at LSU, based on his social media posts and what his endorsements could have been. National high school recruit, college program receives exposure at the highest level, playing for the biggest show in your city and state, strong social media following. This graphic estimates Jamar Chase could have made $508,000 with NIL while he was at LSU. When you can put that in a recruit's hand, it's powerful. That's why it pays to have a plan. Now, Jamar Chase is the exception. He's the outlier. That's not the guy that's going to be the norm. But those guys will exist. If it was Reggie Bush when he played or Johnny Manziel when he played, guys who, while they were in school, already had a major national brand. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence won a national championship as a freshman quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa, same thing. When he was at Alabama, he had a national brand. He could have gotten national endorsement deals. I mean, if this were 6 months ago, 8 months ago, Trevor Lawrence could have done a deal with Head & Shoulders. Right? And it would have made a lot of sense for Head & Shoulders to do a deal like that. Now, the next generation will be able to. We are certainly going to follow it as it goes along. Any more developments, we'll certainly keep you up to date. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, GMFS Mortgage. Change your life financially with GMFS Mortgage. With a refinance, you can shorten the life of your mortgage. You can reduce your monthly mortgage payment. You can skip a payment or two. We ended up shaving $400 off of our monthly mortgage payment. Think about that, $400 a month. I saved $6,000 a year. $5,000, not good at math. $5,000 a year on my mortgage. It's incredible. Skip 2 mortgage payments. I was doing backflips, and we shaved 5 years off the life of our mortgage. All through a refi with GMFS Mortgage. Learn more at gmfsmortgage.com. gmfsmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives. If you missed our chat with Mike Detillier on demand at 1045ESPN.com or on the After Further Review YouTube channel, if you don't mind, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. We talked with Mike about Ryan Ramczyk, who signed his extension. According to Over the Cap, the Saints cleared about $5.5 million in cap space by extending Ryan Ramczyk. So his cap hit, which was going to be at about $11 million, is now at about $5.5 million. So the Saints are in the ballpark of $11.3 million-ish in cap space. So if they want to go out and add a cornerback, they have the cap space to do it now. They want to add another linebacker. They have the cap space to do it now. And they potentially, if they decide to extend Marcus Williams and not have him play on the franchise tag, they could create even more cap space. Be very interested to see what they do with Marshawn Lattimore as well. Lattimore very likely going to face a suspension due to the NFL personal conduct policy. But also, this is a scenario where if Marshawn Lattimore is healthy and has a great year in a contract year, you could end up paying more on the back end of this year for Marshawn Lattimore than you would theoretically right now. But the opposite is also true. Lattimore could have a bad season, and then you've overpaid for someone who might be declining. I think Marshawn Lattimore is still an elite corner and is going to be paid like it when that day comes. But the reality remains they need someone opposite Marshawn Lattimore this year, and now they have the money to go spend it. I will be so interested to see if they spend on a linebacker. So you know where I stand, I would be 100% on board with them signing Quan Alexander right now. And I think they will, actually. The videos Quan's put out there, he looks healthy. Provided he's healthy, I think you bring him back. He knows this defense. He was a perfect yin to Demario Davis's yang. They worked awesome together. He was great in this defense. I would love to see Quan Alexander back. But there's an interesting piece up at the Saints website where Dennis Allen gave an interview to Sam Shannon at the team's website, and they talked about Zach Bond. And this is where I want to take it with a grain of salt because I get it that it's the Saints website. And the great thing about like a team website or team-issued content like the Saints or with LSU Sports.net or something, whenever you're creating your own content, yes, you get access because you have access to coaches and players and all that stuff, and it's great, but you're also never going to look at the devil's advocate approach. You're also never going to look at the other side. It's going to be largely fluff and sunshine pumping. That's just the nature of it. And so I'm hesitant here, but you know, Dennis Allen said Zach really got hurt last year with the hamstring in training camp, and we all knew there was going to be a development curve in terms of being an off-ball linebacker. So we played him at the Sam, we played him at the Mike off-ball. They go on to say, well, he lost a lot of opportunities because of injury and losing reps. So the season comes along, and you can't really get him reps during the season, so you just do what he's comfortable, and that was coming off the edge like he did at Wisconsin. Okay. But Dennis Allen said, quote, I'd say the difference between this year and last year, I'm sorry, this was Bond. I'm just way more comfortable. Comfortable with the playbook. Comfortable. I know everybody. I know all the coaches. And I know I'm just coming into this season. I'm comfortable and way more confident. The Saints have money to spend. Like, intellectually, I know this. They freed up cap space. They have $11 million to spend. They don't have starting caliber players, proven starting caliber players at linebacker and number 2 cornerback right now. Go spend the money on that. But there is this part of me that's just like lingering going, are they really convinced that Paulson Adebo and Zach Bond are going to be ready-made players this year? I don't think that's the case. Like, intellectually, I don't think that's the case. But I'm also listening to these coaches talk and thinking, they haven't moved yet in free agency to bring in somebody. And they're talking up the guys currently there. So maybe this is a year where we're going to see them try to commit to some of these younger guys. We'll start to find out whenever they hit training camp. Less than a month from right now, Saints training camp opens. I'm fired up for it. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, online at theantiagingclinics.com. We got one thing left to do. Otter locks, what we learned. We'll put a button on it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Just had Darren James on the show, but this is a great opportunity not to tell you about Darren James and his $50 billion that was deposited into his bank account, but Darren James, the realtor, the guy that outworks everyone, the guy that has marketing strategies unlike any other that you'll see. Go to agent225.com. Look, incredible. 3 new properties on the site today. 3 more listings. It's like every day Darren is churning through new listings. He and his team do incredible work. They'll walk you through the entire process of selling or buying your home. 335-7666. Call Darren directly. 335-7666. Maybe he'll even show you the screenshot of the $50 billion bank deposit in his account. Remember, Darren and his team spend thousands of dollars every month marketing their properties, your property, to get your home sold faster for more money. You need to sell your home, call Darren James. 335-7666.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
In the sunshine, everybody loves the sunshine.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, 15% military discount always, especially relevant here in July as we celebrate our nation's independence. All right, we're hooking up with Jimmy Ott for Otter Locks here in just a quick second. A little bit of news coming out of LSU. LSU outfielder Dylan Cruz has been named to USA Baseball 2021 Collegiate National Team. So the roster has been announced, 45-man roster. They'll be split into 2 teams, and they will compete in an 11-game Stars versus Stripes intra-squad series starting on Friday. Of course, Cruz had an amazing freshman season. He was named National Freshman of the Year and completely justified. So let's see. USA roster highlighted by 8 USA Baseball alumni, including Cruz and 2 others that have competed for Team USA multiple times on different levels. So Justin Campbell of Oklahoma State, Robert Moore of Arkansas also have played for Team USA at different points in their careers. So congrats to Dylan Cruz for being named to the Team USA roster. So what's the word with Otter? No Jimmy out yet? Well, just play his music bed anyway. Start me up on the music bed. Whenever you're ready. Got it.
It's like the bat signal. I'm trying to send out the bat signal for him. It's not working.
Oh, man. All right, we're trying to hook up with Otter for Otter Locks. I really want his thoughts. It's a little loud music. Take it down here. I really want his thoughts on Game 5 tonight, Hawks and Bucks. Giannis out. Trae Young, obviously, limited. Hopefully we get to see Skylar Mays tonight. Where's my phone? No dice. All right. No worries about Otter. I'll just take this time then while I got 2 minutes to address some of the NIL questions I've got. I got this one from Phil McGill on the text line. He said, Matt, no one's really talking about how in the world they're going to control this and not allow it to become paying recruits through an intermediary business. Like walk-on signs a lucrative deal with a recruit or a new signee, then walk-ons also happens to get a deeply discounted advertising package, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to answer Phil's question legitimately, but I need you to understand Phil's question is completely, I understand why he's asking it, but it's a ludicrous notion in real life. That's a lot of fans are defaulting to this conspiracy theory mentality. So Louisiana law prohibits boosters from organizing an NIL offer. They cannot create or facilitate NIL compensation opportunities. If you're an LSU booster, can't happen, or a school booster, cannot happen. And number two, the compensation received must be commensurate with market value. Now, you may say, well, how will I ever know? Because that's taxable income. So if you're making that money and hiding it, not only are you violating the NIL law in the state, but now you're committing tax evasion. And you have really, really big issues. Do you honestly think that businesses are going to compromise their integrity, potentially go to jail along with student athletes to try to get a running back an extra $10K? You're out of your mind. Like, I understand why you're asking the question. It seems so logical in your brain, but it's not. Like, this may be hard to understand, but like, this is the business that everyone here works in. Like, this is how everyone here gets paid. It's all the live reads you hear me do. I get talent fees and all that. We do endorsement fees. Like, that's how this works. It's going to be okay, y'all. The world's not going to fall apart, I promise. All right, Otters fired. Colorcy! Muse, what did you learn?
Steve Ensminger was a GA for Joe Clark.
How about that? Paulie?
Jamar Chase could earn $500K at LSU.
See y'all tomorrow.
AFR.
Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. You know where to go first. Check them out online at Michelli.com. Get all them vowels right, y'all. Michelli. If you're Italiano, you get it. Michelli.com for Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Make sure you check out their track system. I tell you about the track system all the time. But the track system allows you 24/7, 365 access to your calibration certificates. And it's free of charge to all Michelli customers. That's going to make you more efficient. You don't have to wait to start a project till you get those calibration certificates. They're available online 24/7, 365. Also, if you get audited, everything, there's a record of it right there for free, 24/7, 365. They have ISO 17025 accreditation available. They've been in business since 1947. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Online, Michelli.com. Sports wouldn't be the same without the diehard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 104.5ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast